Okay, welcome back to the Spiritual Recalibration Series. Thank you for embarking on this series and opening yourself to a new way of being. My name is David, and this is session 26, Self-Awareness Through Judgment. Find a comfortable seat in a space where you can allow yourself 20 minutes or so undistracted to focus just on you. A quick reminder, to get the most out of this series, please be sure you've listened to the welcome session, Session 0. Here we go. All right, so it was kind of a big introduction, completely changing your relationship with the world. Well, it's a bit of a teaser because what I really has been up this week is judgment. So there's like this opportunity that can happen if you notice yourself judging someone. And we tend to have the most judgments or be the most judgmental about the people closest to us. That's normal. That's natural. Whether it's, especially if you have a significant other, they're kind of the one we have the most of. So the example, and I think I may have even offered this example to you before. My wife, she just gets thrown into these things all the time. But she's a good sport about it. So my judgment is that she's busy. She's always busy. She's busy all the time. So there's my judgment, right? And so what happens is if I'm right. So what happens is we have a judgment and then we immediately believe those judgments are right. That's kind of like an opinion. We have an opinion and then we're pretty sure that opinion's right. And that's how we become opinionated about something, right? So I believe my judgment that she's always busy is right. And then what happens is my ego goes and looks for evidence that I'm right. And sure enough, I find it. So that now becomes that becomes how I see her, as always busy all the time. And so that's the lens through which I see her, right? So the difference, there's a significant difference though, as we're kind of what we're up to here in this kind of consciousness stuff, is the difference between if I can let go of my attachment to being right about that judgment and instead simply notice that I have that judgment, that's where the opportunity lies. Because if I'm attached to being right about my judgment, then that's the only way that I can see her. But what the judgment, so this is where I've been learning a lot about projection. You probably heard that word before, projection, right? So basically I have a judgment and what I'm doing is I'm projecting that judgment onto her. And that's where I go and I look for evidence and I find it. But if I say, oh, I notice this, I'm having this judgment that you're always busy. I wonder. I can get curious. I wonder what this has. I wonder what this judgment about being busy all the time has to teach me. I wonder how this is about me. And as soon as you start recognizing that the judgment is about this judgment, as soon as I recognize this judgment's about me and not about her, I start to see a couple things happen. One is I start seeing her through a different lens. Suddenly I notice that she's going for bike rides with my kids. Oh, well, she's not always busy. And then I notice that she does a bunch of things, but then she does those specifically so she can go and get on her exercise machine. She loves to do that. Oh, She's not always busy. She's doing things. That's her way of way of doing things. And so you start to see people and things differently. And then if I get curious about myself, how this judgment is about me, and being busy, I can like turn it on myself. Like, how is it true that I'm always busy? Oh, yeah, actually, maybe I don't just sit down and do nothing very often. I wonder what sort of opportunity lies there. And how have I made being busy a bad thing? How is being busy all the time a good thing? What's good in that? So there just starts to be, you kind of open up this whole different way of relating to the people. And your view of them changes, your relationships change. I've certainly experienced this as I've noticed my judgments and and also the biggest thing, and I guess probably the one thing that I want to say most is how seeing that our judgments tell us more about ourselves than anything else, that builds our self-awareness. So if we have an interest in having a relationship with that other that we've spoken about, however you conceptualize that other, that higher way of being, your own highest potential, if that's what's most comfortable for you, the quantum field, we've mentioned, the different ways of thinking about this, spirit, God, that whatever that other is, getting to know ourselves as much as we can is on that path, because we can start to see what is maybe a little bit between here and there, or what there is to let go of. So much of this is about letting go. And kind of that whole relationship with the world, if your relationship with your significant other or with your kids or your mom or your friend or that guy at work changes, then there's nothing to say that your entire relationship to everything changes and shifts, and more things open. Anyway, that's what I've been up to thinking this week. So we'll finish here with a short meditation, and we'll do it. We'll focus on a visualization, just about kind of along these lines of kind of what we see when we look out there. Yeah. All right. So let's do that. If you're in a chair there, yeah. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor if you can get them there, or however you're sitting is fine. Just want to sit with a nice upright spine. So draw your shoulder blades together gently. It's always good, if you're doing this in a chair, to have, at least to start, until your kind of posture muscles get nice and strong, with like a support in your low back. You can think about that. It helps rotate the hips a bit, so you can sit comfortably upright. But we're not going to do this for too long. Certainly, if you're going to sit down for 20 minutes or so all at once, it might be a good idea with that support. So close the eyes down gently if that's comfortable for you. Make sure your eyelids are soft, and your eyes soft behind them. Place your hands on your thighs, at the juncture of thighs and abdomen, or a little bit further forward if that's more comfortable for you. Palms up or palms down, your choice. Palms up is kind of an open and receiving posture for the hands. Palms down is a more grounding posture. And begin to just notice the breath, allowing it to flow naturally in and out of the nose. See if you can locate the spot in your nostrils where you can feel it. Sometimes that's easiest found at the edges of your nostrils. Or maybe you can notice the air a little bit higher up. See how high up in your nostrils you can notice the air passing. Cool on the inhale, warm on the exhale. Notice when your mind wanders off, those thoughts trickle off or even into a train of thought. It's normal, it's natural. Just notice, and then gently but firmly come back to your breath. Good. You can take an intentional inhale through your nose and a gentle exhale through your mouth. Don't need to watch the breath anymore. Behind your closed eyes, allow yourself to be sitting on a park bench. Sitting there, having just come out of a meditation, with your eyes open and looking around at the park, the scene in front of you. There's a small pond. There's a man fishing by the pond. And another man on the other side, also fishing. There's a walking trail that goes around the pond, not too far from the bench where you're sitting. And there's some people here and there walking. Young woman flying a kite. A family having lunch at a picnic table. A few more picnic tables with some people sitting and eating. You notice the man, the first man, fishing. And you wonder about him and his story. And let the sun come out from behind a gentle cloud and see the light from the sun on the man. And notice the soft glow around the man. The glow of goodness. Not the kind of goodness where badness is the opposite, but the goodness that is pure, that has no opposite. As you notice, the man on the other side of the pond has the same glow. And the people walking on the trail have it too. As you notice all the people in the park with this soft glow of pure goodness, peace, of ease, of love, allow yourself to feel that glow within you. And now let this visual go, but for just another moment or two. Stay here in this glow. This glow of pure goodness, peace, ease, love, joy. And now take an intentional inhale through your nose and an exhale through your nose. Prepare to come back to the space where you are. And when you're ready, you can flutter open your eyelids or stay like this for as long as you want.